Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we have to take a look at the price of Bitcoin because it is currently trading just above $85,000. So the volatility continues. However, Bitcoin on the daily chart, its RSI is in the oversold zone and very much in the extreme oversold zone. So we can expect some sort of reversal soon. We know markets don't go forever in one direction, whether that's going up or going down, right? Markets are cyclical. So when we look at these different factors and signals, we can get an idea of what the next move might be. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to pivot on a dime, and move really fast back upwards. It's just you're going to eventually have the sellers get exhausted, right? And that's where that RSI highlights the oversold zone. And what we need to watch, as I've been saying, is the reversal just going to be a relief rally, or some sort of retracement and then continues to roll over and go down, right? That is the scenario. Or does it continue to bull market? Now, I'm in the camp that it continues the bull market because of the macro factors, the Fed ending QT and, crypto market structure bill and all these major milestones ahead. And I think we do have room for another rally to a blow off top. We have not seen the characteristics of a blow off top in this bull market. Clearly, very different, right? So that's why I think this is just a very extended correction. Obviously, the stock market is also correcting. So we're going to have to be patient here and see how this all plays out. Here, analyst Bob Lucas highlighted, for the stock market, specifically the S&P 500, on the weekly chart, that there's more downside here, and the move upward could take us into Q1 of 2026. So this is what we've been talking about for months, right? That this bull market seems like it's going to extend into Q1 2026 simply because of the massive hit the market took with the tariff announcement earlier this year. And then you had another, tariff announcement in October, which, without many of you know, big crash in crypto, right? So that's been a major headwind, kind of shifting the timeline a bit. And then you had other macro factors like the government shutdown, which affects liquidity and much more. So I don't believe this bull market's over. I do believe there's a blow off top to get to. And even Ray Dalio, the big time macro investor, he was on TV saying today, as far as bubble, the market is in a bubble, but he thinks it's 80% there, that it's not at 100%, and that there will be an eventual top. So, again, we're seeing different signs that the macro is telling us it's not over, but that's not a guarantee, of course. Now, if we jump back to Bitcoin on the weekly, it is also approaching the oversold zone. On the daily, it's more oversold. So again, we could see a reversal soon, and we'll just have to see what that reversal does. And, how strong is it? Is it impulsive? Is it corrective and all that? Those are things we're going to have to wait and see. Unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball to say this is what's going to happen. But again, you couple that with we have not seen the characteristics and the things that typically happen at the peak with retail euphoria and much more. So I think there's still ways to go here. And something I want to highlight, the market is in extreme fear right now, and it's actually lower than when FTX collapsed in around November, December 2022. So that's how bad it is out there, folks. So, in addition to the RSI, one of the things we talked about, if the majority of people are like, this is over, it's done, everybody's scared, Bitcoin's not, we're going to recover, then the market does the opposite. We've seen that time and time again. I don't make the rules. This is just how markets move. They're driven by liquidity, but also sentiment, right? So we're gonna have to be patient and let's see what happens. But clearly, things not going according to plan that like we were expecting. But this is the nature of markets, guys, and the volatility is par for the course. So you have to get used to it and have the macro outlook. Now, today, many of you know Bitwise, they launched their XRP spot ETF, and here James Seyffert from Bloomberg highlighted some details about that. He posted earlier today, with a bit over 3 hours left in trading, Bitwise XRP ETF is almost at $22 million in trading today. Quite impressive for the second product to market a full week after Canary Funds XRPC, which is the #1 launch by volume this year. So as we've been talking about, there's a lot of demand for XRP. Obviously, a lot of people are going to look at this and say, Tony, look at the price, it's dumping. Well, yeah, I've often stated positive news and these actions are not going to have that type of impact if the market is in a downtrend, right? If we are bottoming out or in a uptrend, then positive news will have an effect. That concept, for whatever reason, is a hard thing for many people to understand. They simply need to see that positive news drives the price up, but that's not the case. And we have to understand the cyclicality of the markets and what's happening with liquidity and sentiment and much more. Eventually, these things will be priced in, and as people start buying, the product, the holders or the issuers are going to have to buy more XRP, right? They actually have to hold the asset. So this is going to be great in the long term. Eric Balchunas highlighted that BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF called IBIT, they saw some inflows yesterday. So in addition to what I said about the RSI hitting the oversold zone for Bitcoin, and we're in extreme fear, we could start to see some buying of the dip here, right? Which I think makes sense. Smart money, they look to buy the blood on the streets. So even here, Thomas Fair highlighted that BlackRock bought 681 Bitcoin yesterday. So they're tracking the on-chain data for this. So this is a very good sign. Potentially some buying happening here. Now, 21 Shares, they launched a leveraged Dogecoin ETF. So we got very interesting ETFs going live here. I don't really care for Dogecoin as a meme coin. Look, it's there. I have a little bit in my portfolio, but just for fun. I don't hold a massive bag. I'm not expecting to make money off of Dogecoin. But Falcon X has acquired 21 shares, so that acquisition is completed. So these are bull market activities here, folks. So again, if you want to invest in a leveraged Dogecoin ETF, go for it, but just know the risks, right? Leverage generally, obviously, very risky, and meme coins also riskier, right? The most riskiest aspect of the crypto market. Now, folks, this episode is brought to you by Proppy. Proppy's leading the charge with putting real estate on chain. You can buy and sell real estate on Proppy for crypto. So if you want to sell your house for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other assets, you can certainly do that. And Proppy's platform is powered by a blockchain. And I'm a Proppy token holder. I have been since 2018. I discovered this project and I was like, wait a minute, I gotta take a stake here because I know blockchain is going to disrupt every industry and it's going to be integrated into every industry. And real estate, the world's largest asset class, is a huge one. And they've been around since 2017. They facilitated over $5 billion in deals. One of their major investors is Tim Draper, the billionaire investor. And for the buying and selling of real estate on property, they use Coinbase for the crypto escrow service. So they've put deeds on chain, they've created NFTs for properties and much more. So I'm very bullish on this project long term. Again, I've been a Proppy token holder since 2018. I've not sold my tokens because I see this as one of the long-term bets. And they're working with different real estate firms and associations across the US. And they're even integrating AI in different ways. So, folks, if you'd like to learn more about Proppy, go to proppy.com. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, today, Congressman Warren Davidson, who I've had on the podcast, and he's been a crypto champion for many years, he was one of the first, I think actually he was the first to introduce crypto legislation. It was a Token Taxonomy Act. I think this was back in 2018, 2019, around there. My date may be off, but I know he was the first to get this done. Well, he introduced a Bitcoin for America bill, which would codify the strategic Bitcoin reserve executive order and eliminate capital gains tax when paying taxes with Bitcoin. So this is interesting, guys. You could pay your taxes with Bitcoin, and some people may want to do that. So let me give you some more details. Under the Bitcoin for America Act proposed by Representative Warren Davidson, a Republican from Ohio, Bitcoin transferred to the U.S. government for tax payments would not be subject to capital gains taxes and not be recorded as a loss or gain for the taxpayers. So this is good. And I think we need to get more where you can spend your crypto, maybe anything below $1,000 or $600 is tax exempt, right? There's no capital gains transaction there. I think that would really help improve things. But, we have to go one step at a time. We still need to get the market structure bill out of the Senate, and then we can do all these different things. Because I think once market structure is in place, it's going to be easier to get these more complex things, as it relates to the IRS and much more. Okay, moving ahead, some very big news. So Citibank and Swift are testing payments and they are using the USDC stablecoin. This is incredible, folks. I mean, we are seeing the biggest banks across the globe integrating crypto in many ways, using stablecoins, launching custody, launching trading, tokenizing, right? So the inevitability is here. They cannot escape it. So let me give you some details. So, the major US bank company Citigroup and the Belgium payment messaging firm Swift said last week that they successfully completed a trial that settled payment transactions between fiat and digital currencies. I mean, come on, guys, this is amazing. So the trial used USDC stablecoins from the cryptocurrency platforms Circle Internet Group and moved those assets on a test network for digital transactions. Circle did not immediately respond to a Wednesday request for comment. So, guys, let me give you the heads up. All the banks will do this, right? Game theory will play out. They all know disruptions at their doorsteps, so they're trying to integrate these things. And as mentioned, they're doing different type of initiatives with crypto and blockchain. So we are in the then you win phase, right? They tried to fight this industry and this asset class for many years, but they lost, and now they're capitulating. So really big stuff. All right, moving ahead, Coinbase launched ETH-backed loans as on-chain lending tops $1.2 billion. Now, I recently had Ben Shen from Coinbase on, interviewed him a couple or 3 weeks ago, and we talked about their lending program for Bitcoin. They've expanded to Ethereum. So eventually that will go to XRP, Solana, and much more. And, I trust Coinbase. They're a publicly traded company, highly regulated, of course. They are the second largest exchange in the world, obviously the largest in the United States. So you can essentially borrow against your Ether holdings and get USDC stablecoin. So this is powered by Morpho, which is running on Base, which is Coinbase's Ethereum layer 2. So very, very big news here. Now, it's not available in New York. New York is tough, man. So it's not the exchange's fault. Many companies have to wait in line for all types of approvals and licenses. And, there's that crazy thing called the bit license in New York. It's tough. But eventually, you wait in line long enough and you get it. Final news item, the SEC to hold a privacy and financial surveillance roundtable in December. So this is great. We continue to see the SEC's crypto task force engage with the industry, hold roundtables about different topics. They've done this for tokenization and much more. So they have scheduled a roundtable discussion centered on privacy and financial surveillance for December as a renewed focus on privacy grips the cryptocurrency industry. The Privacy Roundtable is slated for December 15th. Like other SEC roundtables, crypto industry executives and SEC officials will discuss common pain points and solutions, but no hard policy proposals will be submitted. So essentially, you got to have the dialogue. The SEC has to listen to the industry stakeholders. What are their pain points? What are things they're looking to do? And then, try to figure out the right rules and regulations to put into place. And, I would love to see what the SEC thinks about privacy coins and how that will fit in the market. One of the things I've said for a long time is that governments, they don't like privacy coins, right? So you got to be careful there. Look, Zcash has been going crazy not too long ago, was, breaking out. So could privacy be the next major narrative? Possibly. But we'll have to see how the governments handle it. I personally don't own any privacy coins. If there's some sort of clarity from the governments in the bear market, then I'll be buying some for the next bull market. But right now, I'm holding off. And look, it's not possible to hold everything in your portfolio. So I'm sure many of you who are holding Zcash, you're happy. I don't hold any, and I'm happy for you, right, that you're making money because that's what we're here to do. But we'll have to wait and see. And if I do add some to my portfolio, I'll certainly let you guys know. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed as yet. And folks, you can support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. So thank you so much for tuning in, folks. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.